The Global Community Conversation, a Various Fields series special, Various Dialogues. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Various Fields. I'm Hazen Fields II.
I'm Hayes Fields III.
I'm Lex.
And we are proud to introduce our very first guest, our very first Various Dialogue series guest, the founder and director of the Black Theater Troupe of Albany, my good friend, Mr. Jean-Remy MONNAY. I believe some applause and claps are happening right there. All right.
All right, thank you.
Man, thank you for being here, guy.
I will drop anything for you.
I
will drop anything for you. I left Montreal to come here just for you.
Wow!
Oh my God.
Man,
We're honored.
Wow,
I'm honored.
Oh, man. Wow, there's a love fest going on right here. Well, thank you so much, sir. We do appreciate you being our first guest in our very first Various Dialogue series.
Thank you.
And we just want to, first of all, you said you do it for me and what have you. Why don't you tell the people, how do we know each other? What do you recall?
You know, I was very impressed. First time we coming out of COVID theater to do theater outside in the park.
Right.
I was called to direct Ain't Misbehaving for the Playhouse stage.
That's correct.
And then I have Barbara Howard called me and said, Remy, I have somebody for you. And he would be interested to audition for Ain't Misbehaving.
That's right. The great Barbara Howard.
The great Barbara Howard. Great Barbara Howard. I love her.
Yes.
And then I'm waiting, to start the auditions. And then and Barbara said, Hayes is on the way, but I never met Hayes before, so I was expecting Hayes to be late because it's a black theater. But Hayes was the first one there looking for the place, and that guy showed up at the audition, and then and I was, when he come to the audition room, I was impressed in a lot of way, and not only he was way on time, and then. He auditioned, and I asked him, I remember, if he can dance because this is a musical.
Right.
And he said he can't dance, he has two left foot or something like that. And then I said, come on, give me an example of, what you can do. So do some moving. And I mean, it was like a Michael Jackson. Yeah. So
wow.
I know with his audition and the way he was moving that.
I love it.
That and then one other thing that I was then I saw in him, I said, oh man, not only he's good, he's talented, and he has dread. Okay. And I will I was ready to cast him right there.
Oh my God.
I said the dread part mainly because with what's going on those days in the past, and still those days where they're sending little boys and little girls home because they have Brady, because they have Afro, because people have this idea that if you have dread, it's either you're a criminal, it's either your hair's dirty, it's either this, but they don't understand its culture, they don't understand. And then I said, I want to cast Hayes. When we have a little boy come to see the show, they can see one of them on stage doing big things.
Wow.
Well, listen.
Okay, and I was big on that.
Well, listen, I want to first of all thank you for casting me in Ain't Misbehaving, and to any people who are fans of Michael Jackson, that was not to take him down. But I appreciate that, and as well. When I met you, I was very impressed with you. I appreciated how you just handled the entire room and being a director. So this is going to transition into, tell us about the origins of the Black Theater Troupe of Albany.
Listen, I've been acting since I was 9 years old, 9 years old. I'm originally from Haiti. And then I've been performing since then. But I was always into even at like around 12, I was, was never afraid to speak, my mind. And if I see something, fighting for people, fighting for friends, and fighting for myself, fighting for people who's, being, oppressing, even in Haiti during the Duvalier's regime, there was a dictatorship. As 12 years old, I was doing play fighting against the Totomakut, which was a secret police during that time.
Right.
Anyway, so that was my kind of theater, doing poetry, and then I was 16, still doing it in Haiti, fighting oppression, fighting the government, with my theater. And then at 18, I came here at 1982. So I'm old. Okay. And then. But I stopped doing theater for a while because I didn't speak the language. I was in Brooklyn. I came in Brooklyn to join my mother. So I'm telling you all this that leads to the question with the Black Theater Troupe. Then after, from 82 to 97, I wasn't doing much theater because, I needed to be comfortable with the language.
Right.
So I moved from New York City. I came to Albany, into the capital region. And then I went back to school for, take performing arts at Schenectady Community College. And then in '99, I had my first play in English at Hubbard Hall in Cambridge. So there was like, probably during that time, from '99 to 2009, there was like, I was one of probably 4 Black actors in the area.
Right.
Okay. And then '99, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, '99, 2009, still the same. So that's when a friend of mine decided we need to start our own. So I started the Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York in 2009. It was then Soul Rebel Performance Troupe. Okay, and then we changed the name later on. I'm getting there in a minute. And then, but we were Soul Rebel Performance Troupe until 2018. Because I worked for the state for 30 years. I retired in 2018 after 30 years. And then I decided to go full-time with the theater company. So that's also when I decided the Soul Rebel name was keeping us back because a lot of people just assume because, you're a Black theater company having a name with the word rebel in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So they thought maybe we're terrorists or something. Yeah, really. So people didn't know what we were. They thought it was a music group. They didn't. So, and then I decided to change the name to the Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York in 2018. That was one of the best decisions I've made by doing that. It was easier people to find us, and it was more respectful. And the reason I didn't call it Black Theater Troupe then, it's because the area wasn't ready to have a theater company with the word Black in it.
Isn't that something?
Okay.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. So, but I was ready. In 2018, I met the artistic director for the West Coast Black Theater Troupe, West Coast of Florida, Nate Jacob. I met with him. He's a successful theater company for 22 years. And then I met with him in Sarasota, and then he said, Remy, go for it. I went through the same thing in Sarasota. It's mostly white. And then and they'll get used to it. And now, we've had our first big production in 2011, 2012. Jumping ahead a little bit now, we are having regular seasons of play at Capitol Rep Theater. Philip Morris and Maggie, they reached out. They said, I love the work you're doing, and we'd like to give you a home. So we've been there now since 2021.
Wow.
Having 3 to 4 production each season. And we try to do different work, work to give opportunities to, BIPAC actors, focusing specifically Black actors, and also doing meaningful work.
Right.
If it was up to Shakespeare, and all those other plays, I would never be in theater. I like to do work to tell our stories and to fight and to give opportunities. And even if I do a streetcar named Desired, it's still giving. If it's to give us opportunities, it's going to be all Black cast.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
So that's why I started it in a Black Theater Troupe, to give opportunities. And I was doing a lot of acting until 2009. I kind of gave up on that because other people gave me a chance as Remy, now it was important for me to start the theater company to give other actors a chance, also to make the local theaters more diverse. It's not just for me, the Black Theater Troupe, for the area. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for giving that background, and I appreciate how it started with you being a rebel in your soul,
Right,
taking
exactly.
the historic position of theater by saying out loud
Right.
in a public forum, which could not be, I guess, because they denied,
Right.
what people would be afraid to say in a one-to-one private thing.
Right.
So bringing truth to light
Yep.
by way of theater is a brave
Yeah,
thing.
that's people call me say I'm an activist. I mean, been doing this for so long. That was a big word for me. I never considered myself an activist, but because I take my activism on stage. Some people will go in the corner, no justice, no peace. Some people write about it, some people sing. Me, I find a play to fight oppression, to fight injustice, to fight racism. I find a play, whether it's through me or through other artists, I put it on stage and educate people and talk to people. That's how I do my activism.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Being you said that, I'd like to put this for a trademark. We're gonna call you an actor. This, you know.
I love that.
I only took 2% of whatever happened.
No, I really like that.
I'm okay.
I really like that.
Well, in any case, so being that we're talking about this, these are my two sons, and these two guys I'm so very proud of. And we're going to try something.
I'm proud of you guys.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
thank you.
Good man. Well, so you mentioned yourself as being Remy. So what we're going to do, I'm going to let my sons handle some of the heavier, weightier questions that come up. And I'm going to take what we're going to dub the left field questions. So left field questions will
Because I start sweating the questions.
But no, the questions.
Gotcha questions.
These are not gotcha questions, but because you do so much for the community,
Right.
sometimes people don't get an opportunity to find out about you as a
Right,
human
yeah.
being. So I'm gonna let them take care of those questions that the world might know,
Right.
they might want to know. And I'm gonna kind of dig a little bit to the left.
All right. Trey, do you mind if I jump in?
Go right ahead.
It's really funny because I was just to give some context. I was just in DC, was hanging out, was for friends and things like that, and I just saw it was like a table or a bag, whatever the case is, but it just said art is activism,
Right.
And I want to just use that as a transitioning point
Okay.
because I very much see it that way in a lot of ways. And something for some background, I've read that maybe like once or twice, but I'm always behind camera.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like in film, especially in the local area, I've been looking more forward to like community and seeing how, especially Albany, especially Troy, that has a very tight knit community. I believe you may know Morgan Elizabeth. I
Yeah,
believe
yep.
things like that. I met her a little bit ago. We
Yeah.
did some film stuff together. And the first thing that comes to mind where I was thinking about what you've done, what Morgan has done, what the people I've kind of run into has done is like, what impact have you seen in the community as you started with the Black Theater Troupe and like you already touched on it, but why is it so important to you to like give into a local community kind of way? Because that is important to me,
To giving your local community.
Yeah, kind of like I guess it's one of those things where it's like I see
Right.
the plays in the theaters and like giving people opportunities. I see the act of it as a
Right.
giving act, and what like led you to that.
You see, I think I touched part of it when I
Yeah.
was talking earlier. This is not, a lot of people start a theater company, they want to start a theater company to do play, to focus on them. Me, I do play to change the area, to change the local stage, to make it more diverse.
Right.
Okay, and we're also very diverse. My board is very diverse. We have the black, white, and there's somebody who actually say the Black Theater Troops is more diverse than any other theater company in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
but I want to give opportunity to all that, and I'm at CapRep now, working with them and collaborate with them, and and they really appreciate that because they're right there in that community.
Yes.
Okay, and they want to make sure that they reach out to the people in the community, which is people like us. So I have now HBO coming for the Gilded Age. A lot of the actors, in their show background. I send it to them. They reach out to me looking for actors.
Wow.
Not something I could have done 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because now I can find looking for young people, looking for all ages, and I send it to them. I was part of the Gilded Age the last time, but I send them actors. It's really important for me, for the Black Theatre Troupe to survive, to find the right people to work with them, because we need to continue doing that, because it's giving opportunity. It's important to BIPAC actors and Black actors, and the local theater, community theater can do more. Okay, they can do more. Before that, they were doing plays, and it's also the way you work with the artists too.
Right.
Okay, because I want to make sure they get a good experience. Okay, so I treat them differently. Okay, and I want them to be family, and if I have to cook for them, I cook. I cook because community theater don't pay people. It's all volunteers.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that, but I do all that, and then I also explain to them, the way we treat you. I let them know, how it is in the real world.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because I don't want them to be disappointed. Oh, you're not cooking for me,
Exactly.
So, but I do that because I enjoy doing that. I want family. Okay, not just actors. I want to treat people like family, not just actors. You come and rehearse, do a play, and then go home.
Right.
Okay, I always make time to call even after a show is over. I always, I always make time and go on my phone, scroll up and down to see who I haven't talked to. I need to reach out to people, not only when I need you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hayes is the only person that I call when I need him. No, not really. I think we probably talk more than anybody else over the years since I met Hayes.
Yes,
He also talks a lot. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's important. I don't know if that answers your question.
No,
and
perfect.
I also
Yeah.
do film too, not just in stage. I've done stuff for Netflix and other stuff. But I'm focusing now on producing and directing, with the Black Theatre Troupe of Upstate New York, because, I want people to have a good experience and come back. And there's so much talent in the kids and all age in our community. We have to give them a chance.
I think that's like the coolest thing I've seen with just like, I'm not sure if it's like, for me, I've only done a little bit, but it seems very special, especially
Don't
when we
worry,
have
that's all you need to say. You can do more.
No, I appreciate it. It's one of those things where it's like, as I've, it gets a little bit of context, like, once I got into doing film, I felt very much the same way, and also thanks to the support of my family and my dad. It's one of those things where you step into a space where there isn't a lot of Black people, there's a lot of people of color, it's very jarring, personally.
Yeah.
And then both around theater and film, and because they're all in the arts, there's a lot of like glitz and glam when people don't know about it. And then when you step into it, I remember people like, oh, this is super hard, this is crazy, this is difficult, like no one, like all these things. And you get into it, it's like, oh wait, no, I can do this. And if I can do this person can do this too.
Yeah.
And then you realize there's nothing but like gatekeeping. And I just respect that one thing. So the first thing I thought of, the first thing I also want to do is like, oh, if I can get other people that I know can do this, that I know are passionate about this, let's get them in.
A lot. I'm out every day at the supermarket, in the laundry room, and a lot of people say I'm shy, I can't do this.
Right.
You just have to talk to them and let them know, educate them about the whole business.
Right.
If I have somebody coming into theater, they're just interested to be on stage. I also want to make sure I tell you about the whole production.
Right.
Okay, the whole production. And because a lot of people just come in and see, hey, he's doing great things on stage. They have no idea he's spending almost 2 months rehearsing.
Yeah.
Okay, and going home late after work, working overnight, and then rehearsing. They have no idea that you have stage managers, you have lighting and sound and tech people. There's so much that goes behind. They have no idea the script that you have to. When you pick a script, a published play, you have to get call the publisher, you get the license for the play, and then you have to pay. You have to pay for each performance.
Right.
If you're doing 8 performances, community theater, you're doing 8 performances, you have to pay at each script anywhere from $90 to $150.
Jesus.
For each performance to
Right.
perform the play.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, and depending on how popular the play is, musical is even more. You have, you have to pay not only for the script, you have to pay for the music, you have to pay musician, you have to, music, that's a lot. And we're doing a musical in February, so.
All right.
And then I know Trey knows a lot about the production managing and things like that, so everything behind the scenes.
Right. I mean, like, I also want to say thank you because understanding how everything is so connected.
Right.
I had no idea that you were in the background of Gilded Age. I know, like, we had in the Palace Theater, they used one of our theater for like one of their filming sites. But more to that, I was more taken by the passion that you always seem to exude on all of your interviews, because I know that there's probably like a history of where you came from, right? But the thing that kind of struck me the most, the thing that struck a chord with me, was when you said in one of your interviews that it's not just theater, it is change. So bringing in that change to this this community, this area, right, and all that you do, I just want to applaud you for all that you've done for all of that.
No, thank you.
No, not at all. But I guess the question for me, everyone else is just grifted, and I love it. Like, when it comes down to writing these changes that you want to see on play, like, what is it that inspires you? Is it just is it education? Is it history? Like, what makes you want to make these changes on stage?
Educating people. I mean, for me, for example, I learned most of my history, American history, all the culture, in just right through theater. Right. We just finished doing a kids production, and the play that I did called Back to the Past. It was a bunch of kids, 9 to 15 years old, and they're in a classroom. And then they were only teaching them, history, but only white history.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And the teacher's white, all the kids are black, and then the kids decided to take things in their own hand to ask the teacher, I don't understand. Was there anybody like me who climbs mountain? Right. Is there anybody like me who were, who built car, who were senators, who were president, who were this and that? Absolutely. The teacher didn't want to answer. She knows. She said, "You're not here for that." Okay, and then the teacher walks out. Next thing you know, it gets dark in the room, and you have characters from the past, like Frederick Douglass.
Oh yes,
all those characters coming in one by one. At least 6 of them, one by one, they're coming into the classroom. It's like ghosts from the past. Like, they're telling the student about them. Right. When they're done, the students are freaking out. They say, "Oh my God, the teacher's not going to believe this," and they're taking notes. It was really good. And then, and then each one tell the student about them, what they did, and then now go tell the world about me. So not only we were educating the student, we were also educating the audience. Okay. Me, for example, some of the characters in the play, I didn't know who they were myself, so I learned to, because I had to do my research, I had to learn all that. So that's why the kind of work, that's why, I do this to educate people, and then entertaining people and educating you at the same time. Okay, and I'm very passionate about that, and I haven't done theater in a long time myself, being on stage, but now it's more important to me that I tell those stories, and I'm also a visiting director for U-Albany and Union College. Okay. Right. They called me to do the same kind of work, and they tell they wanted to bring more diversity in the school, in the theater department. So I've directed shows for them.
Wow, you have such a rich amount of information. There's so many questions. I don't know. You have another question?
I suppose, like, if there's another one, I know as a writer, you always hear the adage, like, always better for you to write what you know. But I'm also hearing that you're saying you do a lot of the educations yourself into getting into the subject matter to continue to make that successful. So is that like a better route to take, just to make sure, as long as you're just educated in it, you can write about anything that you want, or is it better to be writing more to the heart?
Oh, I write from here. Now, most of the plays that I've done are not plays that I write. Okay. But I'm glad you say that, because that's a lot of things people don't know about me. I do a lot of writing, nothing published, but I do a lot of writing. I just recently started collecting. I write from the heart. Like, for example, I can't just tell you I'm going to write. I also write poems, dramatic work. Right. I can't. just sit here, you tell me, can you write about this? I say, no, it doesn't work that way. I have to be inspired.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I have to be inspired. And then I can just write it. So I'm collecting a lot of pieces I wrote over 30 years, put them together. And I also wrote for the piece for the Times Union. They reached out to me in 2020, and then after George Floyd, work, and I wrote. I have a short one, I could read quickly. It's about embracing cultural differences in this country. That's one of the pieces for the opinion section that I wrote, and a few more. And it had to be from the heart, and I write about us, what's and me, for example, and living home as black men, and we know we have to be ready when we go out there.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have to plan, you have to prepare. What you're gonna say to Mr. Policeman when they pull you. I'm going to the doctor, I have to dress up. I'm going to the bank, I have to dress up.
Isn't it interesting?
Oh yeah, I have to dress up, and they treat you differently. And I can go to the doctor wearing suit and tie, and and the white man wear short, still get better care than me. Yeah. So I go to the doctor. I make the doctor my friend. I say, Doc, I want the same treatment you give the white man.
Right.
No, really, I
understand.
talk to them like that. We will become friends. And so we have to do that, and otherwise, yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's some very heavy stuff, but I unfortunately have to put a little comment there so we can look at the camera and tell them to like all the buttons. What is it? We have to remember
hit all the buttons.
Hit all the
Like,
buttons.
subscribe, comment.
Share. If you're loving this conversation with Jean-Remy MONNAY, who is the director of the Black Theater Troupe, the founder and director of the Black Theater Troupe of Albany, please also, we're going to be putting down how you can get in contact with him, with his organizational. What's your organization's email address, or what is it that your website? Do you?
You have a website. We're on Facebook and on social media, Instagram and on Facebook, the Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York. And then our website is www.blacktheatertroupe of upstate-new-york.org.
Right.
And just make sure you say Upstate New York, because they are Black Theater Troupe of Arizona, they are Black Theater Troupe, West Coast Black Theater Troupe. Just make sure it's Black Theater Troupe of Upstate New York.
Well, this is where I get to take advantage of it, because I can just tell you guys right here, it will be on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
But I don't do any of that. My sons are the brains behind how to do all that, but they
The young one always does the one who went, right?
The link will be in the comments.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the
Okay,
link will
okay.
be in the comments.
And that's exactly what I meant,
there you go,
anyway.
exactly.
But in that being said, you talked about working with young people. So this is going to be my first sort of left field question. There may be some people who are aspiring directors, or or have people out there that want to put children or looking into theater themselves. What would you say is your distinction between directing young people and adults?
Distinction. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I love kids, and I love working with people in general. There aren't much distinction, but yes, it's I would say kids are so cute when you're working with them, and you have to have the patience to work with them. You have to understand, and they will misbehave, do things, but you have to have the patience. You have to have the patience. I have to have the patience to work with adults too, because I work with a lot of a lot of new actors who've never done this before.
Yes.
Okay, because they never done this before, I cannot treat them the same way you'll treat a seasoned actors.
Right.
Okay, you can't. That's why it was hard for me at first to bring a new director to work with the Black Theater Troupe, unless you understand the culture.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The culture meaning not just being a black culture, but also being new to theater is a culture itself.
Yes.
Because you cannot come in and talking to a black woman the same way you talk to a white woman. Okay, because there's certain things people you can't say. You cannot say why, to black women. You can easily say to a white woman, why you so, angry, but you cannot say that to a black woman. You know what I'm saying? The angry black woman or any black person. But I don't see a lot of different distinction between the kids and adult because I don't know. I just want to take the time and be patient and use the word love and work with everybody with love. And it's different regardless regardless of who you're working with.
Right.
Every actor. I try to understand everybody, whether you kids or adult, because I try to understand you because I don't know what's going on. You have family, you have work. Some people have a lot of personal issue. And I've worked with people. I try to know about something about you before I start directing you. Right. Okay? Like you'll be surprised how many people I start talking to, and then I find out that they're doing this because they suffer from depression and anxiety and stuff like that. But right away, I know that I cannot treat you the same way as I treat the other person who don't have the same kind of issue.
Right.
Okay,
right.
because I have to know. So it's just really the same thing with the kids. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why I asked the question, because I actually saw the play that you spoke of, where the children were going into school and they were meeting the different people from history.
Right.
And this play was
I forgot
done,
you saw it.
Yeah. And they were young people in the entire play, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The actors that were in it, and I've worked with Remy working with adults, and I think that, in my opinion, in working with him, what he does intuitively is that he's sensitive to the hearts of the actors that are there. And he does it so seamlessly because it's a part of his bringing up. It's part of how he's been nurtured as a human being. I think he discounts that, humbly so, because what happens, I've worked with directors who could care less about you as a human being. They're they're trying to.
You meant first to me.
They're trying to get the play done.
No.
And in that kind of direction, yes, you will get a play, but you'll have a production more than you'll have a troupe.
Right. Yeah.
And and having a collective. So I want to thank you for your sensitivity to the young people that were there, and also got a chance to watch your kids on stage.
Yeah, and quickly say this as more things coming to me, the distinction with the kids and adults. We had one week to go before the show, and the kids they were very shy. We've been working. The kids weren't ready to go on because a lot of them didn't know their lines yet. Okay, and they were still shy. So I told the stage managers, I told everybody involved, I told the parents, I don't want you to be stressed, to have your kids struggling to remember lines. I said, don't worry about it. They are kids. They know the story well, and and if they have to go with the script when we open, just give them the script.
Right.
I'm saying, because I didn't want to put that stressed pressure on them and the parents, because I wanted them to have fun.
Right.
Okay. So that's what I told the parent, and they felt much better about that. They're kids, and they come in, they look at the script while they're performing. Right. Nobody's gonna notice that. They just want to see the kids having fun. Right. And then the next day, I was working with one of my ASM, Cubila sales, and she was, she started working with them, and she said, "Okay, we're gonna try something today." She took the script away from them. Okay, that was the same day that I told them, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna, if they're not ready, we just give them the script when they to perform, when we open." The Q took the script away from them. They were just running lines. They didn't even call for any lines, the kids.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
They knew the thing, just like us. Like us, we know our stuff. We just, somebody needs to take the script away from them. Okay? And they were having so much fun. They were so cute. And I'm sorry, adults. I love working with the kids more than the adults. I really love that. But and at one point, I said, you know what? I should be doing play just for kids from now on. Your actors, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
adult actors are penning
it. Any more questions?
There's so many. I think that's the coolest thing, is that the first thing that I get from you to being able to talk to you in person is just the passion. Is the thing that's super cool. And I will say, it's I want to kind of take it from like a behind the scenes perspective, because I very much don't like doing this at sometimes, but since I do a little bit of film behind camera and stuff, you sometimes get that distinction between, all right, who's in front of camera and who's behind camera, let's say working with people. And I just want to again applaud that passion, because I think that passion is something that's almost infectious. And that's the thing that really, it's hard to teach, it's hard to know, but once people get it, they're like, oh, I'm now inspired, there's so much that comes from that. So first off, that's just cool to see in person, just to be honest.
No, thank you.
And then a question, one of the questions I do, speaking of passion, is I'm honestly not sure the best way to ask is if it's a current project or a next big project, but what's your big passion project, either currently or next, just something you're working on in general?
Oh, okay.
If you're comfortable.
Comfortable, that's what I do. This is my opportunities, talking to you. No, comfortable, no. There's many things. First of all, now, because just like everybody else was taking on so many things during 2020, things they always wanted to do, they couldn't do it because they had more time in their hands. Right. So I was doing more writing, and I was doing more writing. So I'm doing a lot of that now. Cool. And then and there's a small piece, I'd like to read it about the diversity. That's kind of important if you have time. Mm-hmm. But my current project now, we just announced our next season, so hopefully, and we're doing 3 production next season. One starting in October. Cool. One is in October 17, called Brother and Brother, and it's a play about a black man, and then that went to prison. He was trying to help a white woman, and then was running to give her something she dropped, and then. First she hesitated, then she realized, oh, he's there to help me. But it was too late when the cop came. They thought he was, and then he went to prison for helping somebody.
Oh, my Lord.
And then he came out now, now actually something happened where somebody was approaching him and he ended up doing something. Now the cops was really, because you go to prison, you come out, you're never the same. Okay, and some people can go to prison, come out as a lawyer. Some people depend on how they treat you.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and then now that he had to try to find his old girlfriend that he hasn't seen in 3 years, and try to do like they had issue before. Like before he goes back to prison, he wanted to make things right. With his So the story is about that and misunderstanding about us, what's going on with us every day. And then in February we're doing Once on This Island. Okay. It's a popular Broadway musical, and then. And you'll be great in it.
Oh my God!
You're a singer. It's actually based on the island of Haiti. The musical, and then the last production for next season, 2024-2025, will be at the end of May and June, first week of June. We're doing a play called Eclipse. That was also on Broadway, and then Eclipse about 5 young women, like in Liberia, where you have the warlord kidnapping young girls and turn them into soldiers in the white, and then those women now they start becoming sisters, and then they have to try to, do whatever they can do to fight. For their freedom from the warlords. So it's things that actually happen in Liberia.
Well, Remy, this is kind of exciting, and I'm going to take a little time for self-promotion. Is this the first time that you've announced those 3 plays for this season on a podcast where there was 2 sons and a father talking? Is this your first time doing it?
I only announced it on social media, but this is the first time we announced it on a podcast.
This is an exclusive from various fields.
You've heard it here.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Hand clap. Can I get us a hand clap there? Thank you. Various fields.
It's on social media, but this is the first time actually physically talking, having conversation, discussing it.
That is an honor, actually. And again, for all our viewers, we'll link the description, we'll link to the website, we'll make sure everyone has access and know how to get to that.
You hear it from the man. You hear it
from the source.
You hear it from the source. And I picked all my plays, and then I'm telling you, so I did not Yeah. So
All right.
God.
How much time do we have left, Mel?
just about 20.
20 minutes. Great. Well, I'm sorry.
I want to, when you're ready, after all your questions, you want me? I want to just read one of the pieces that I wrote.
Oh my God! Listen,
It's not long. I wrote many, but it's not long.
please.
That's great.
That would
Let
be
us know how long
fantastic.
it is. We'll make sure.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
watch it out.
Keep it rolling. Keep it
In
rolling.
fact, after
Just one more question. That was
And
it for me.
we'll
After,
hear-
go right to you.
Yeah, no, no.
perfect.
It's just,
No, it's fine. It's just like I can only imagine you already have a convoy of people that already ran up to you and say, "Remy, I want to be just like you."
just like, no. Be bigger and better. Yeah, I'll help you to get, to get like me, but you have to keep going.
I
Yeah.
love that. So I was just asking, is there any one set track or any ideal track that you want to tell the viewers, like how could they get to a position like yours, if not on the same
Advice,
track,
yeah.
or fly further and farther?
Look, when I came here, people tell me I'll never get cast if I don't change my accent. Okay, and people tell me, why are you going to Hubbard Hall in the Boondock? They're not going to cast you a black man, all this redneck. And you know what? I never let people tell me I can't do anything as long as I want to do it. I'm not going to do it to impress somebody. But if I want to do something, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. So, people say, and then I kind of, at first let people get to me, starting reading and getting books and stuff and audio recording to try to change my accent. And then after a while I said, what am I doing? I'm not going to change who I am for nobody.
Right.
Okay. And then I started going out auditioning for plays, and then I have directors that say, oh, I love your accent. I have playwrights who said, oh, I love your accent. And don't change that. So, then I said, I've done plays with a certain accent, and then go right back to my accent.
Right.
With it.
Yeah.
It's what I'm trying to say. It's not about your accent. It's not about the way you talk. It's your attitude. If you have a great attitude, great personality, and then people will work with you. Okay, so anybody, please don't let anybody stop you from, if you want to be a director, if you want to be stage managers, and we will, whatever in the art you want to do, and just keep doing it with respect. Treat people with respect, because I'm big on that, and be patient. There's a 10-second rules that I have when somebody, somebody says something to me that's, will get me upset, or that I want to punch you. And there's a 10-second rule that I have to breathe, to relax, and then and that will prevent me from saying something that I will regret to you. That will prevent me from punching you for something if you just disrespect me, and that helps both people.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
if I take
yeah.
that 10 seconds, and I didn't, you say something to me, and then and get you upset even more, that works for me all the time, and I tell people that, everybody I work with, use that, and do it with respect. I'm about working with people. I'm about meeting people halfway. I'm about educating people. Okay, I'm saying that all that mainly with the white people that I work with. Okay, a lot of them, because we're educating them. A lot of them don't know. Okay,
Right,
some of them know. They just choose not to understand, to be ignorant. I know who they are too.
Right.
Then okay, get out of my way.
Right,
Okay,
right,
but
right.
I'm always willing to sit down and talk to people, make you understand, because we're gonna need everybody when you're trying to be successful in something. You're gonna need everybody. Just know how to work with them. You don't want to push anybody away on the but if you don't want to work with me too, I'm not going to waste my time.
Right.
Okay, and don't let anybody tell you, and keep going. There will be time you're going to feel like, why am I doing this? I retired. I need, I don't need that stress, but it's too important for me to, to let this kind of, mental, Because every time I think like that, and then like coming here, for example, I'm talking about this now. I can't wait to get back to continue doing what I'm doing because you guys,
Thank you.
because obviously it's because of what I've been doing, helping people, working with people. That's why you brought me here.
Yes.
Okay, so that gives me more,
Well, listen, I want to thank you
motivation.
first of all. This is a very special treat. I'm going to ask Nels to. I'm going to try to help Nels, and he's going to probably shake his finger at me at one point. But you're about to do a special reading for us, and what I'd like to do is give a little space here while I'm talking. We're going to get him in a camera position so he can face the camera,
Right.
and we're going to fade in and
I love that.
fade out and fade back in, and we're going to have a good sight on. On Remy. You don't have to do a close up, but make it more intense for him. However you can do that. And at this, we're never really edited, but this will be our first time. We'll probably have a little edit there, but it does. We don't have to do it now. You can do it in post. But we just want to introduce to you everybody.
I got you. So what we're going to do is we're going to step out of frame and we'll have him.
That's
shine
it.
us on the way to
Very
That'll be
good.
best.
Okay, very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jean-Remy Monnet.
All right. Well,
Now, this is not a performance. This is reading a piece that I wrote of things that I believe in. I believe in social injustice. I believe in fighting for, our people. I believe in diversity. I believe in things that's going on in this country that if people were working together, try to understand each other, things would be so much better for everybody. So this is a piece that I wrote. It was published in the Times Union in 2020 about embracing cultural diversity enriches humanity. And this was written September 6, 2020. How beautiful the world would be if each of us would only take a minute to strike up a conversation with a neighbor, a stranger, or someone from a faraway place. Imagine getting to know someone who not only looks different from you, but who has cultural differences. You are afraid of me because I'm a 6 foot 1 inch black man weighing 215 pounds. But if you knew me, you'll probably conclude that your cat is more threatening than I am. I don't know how many times I have been mistaken for a Jamaican or Nigerian because of my accent. I was born in Haiti. Mind you, I'm honored to be mistaken for my Nigerian and Jamaican brothers, but the experience suggests that most Americans don't take time to learn about the range of cultural background of the people living around them. Loving Mexican food and enjoying a Cancun vacation don't substitute for knowing something about your Mexican-American neighbors. A little time invested in conversation will show you their kindness and work ethic and maybe reveal the beautiful culture of Mexico. And you can't love black athletes and black entertainers but hate black culture. We black people are often judged by appearance. Dreadlocks, for example, which are a matter of culture where I come from, and many white people assume that a person of color who speaks with an accent is an uneducated immigrant. Why do we assume a white person with an English or French accent is intelligent and educated? A few years ago, I was approached by a young man recently immigrated from Iran. He looked at me and asked, "Do you do drugs, drink alcohol, and have tattoos?" When I replied no, his next question was, "Are you sure you're black?" I didn't punch him, though the thought crossed my mind. I came to learn that in the short time he had been in this country, all he knew about black people was from the reality TV series Cops, which ran for 32 seasons until this spring. I put my hand on his shoulder and told him, "You don't want to say that to another black man. You're lucky that I'm the one you said it to." I took this as an opportunity to educate him. Making stereotype of others in the United States particularly affect people from the other Americans living here and diversifying our country, including people from other nations on the continent of North and South America. By learning and understanding each other, we can help stop the mistreatment and the killing of our brothers and sisters whom we consider to be different from us. America can be a better place if we turn to education and civility instead of the xenophobic plague that is ravaging our country. God created people of different colors and ethnicity to make this a more colorful and diverse world, not to divide the people. That is why we should stand with the BLM movement, the LGBT community, those who fight anti-Semitism, the Latinx movement, and everybody else. Aside from Native Americans, we are all immigrants here. So it makes sense that we should help all who dream of a better life in the U.S. Now, we need to take a stand against caging innocent children and against the systemic racism that leads to the deportation of the very diversity of people who makes our America so incredible. We need to treat our neighbors as we would like to be treated. It can start with simply getting to know them. That's one of the pieces that I wrote. And those things, it's from the heart because, for what I experienced myself, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know it, we walk in the street all the time. Suddenly you realize somebody was coming toward you and cross the street. Fantastic. And sometimes they cross the street because the white men on the other side, they feel safer, if the black person. And a lot of people do that, not just white people. That's just like the way the system make us, think.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. That was good. Yeah, that was excellent. Thank you so much. Your poem, now when did you write that?
I wrote that in September 2020 when the Times Union reached out to me because most of the people, I guess they realized because of what was going on, they needed to reach out to the black community. So they asked me if I would write something, I wrote 2 pieces for them, plus I write poetry too and different things too.
Well, I thank you for not just writing something that was wonderful to listen to, but poignant too, because we're living now, when we do our shows, they're weeks in advance, and something very big happened this weekend, a couple of days ago, on the campaign trail. There was seemingly there was a shooting. Apparently there was a shooting. And we live in a world in the United States that has been so culturally conditioned to think things of people, particularly people of color, those who are indigenous people. Stereotypes didn't always exist. They had an origin. And oftentimes people of color have been subjected, because of subjugation, they've been subjected to very, often very negative stereotypes. So you fighting against that is not only something that we applaud, we need, we cherish, and we thank you so much for being on the battlefield for that. So my question to you, based upon the level of tensions that are in the world, what we said 4 years later, in 2020, what do you believe needs to be done even now to help bring this conversation to the forefront?
God, one thing I know for sure that we thought things was bad in during 2020, and it's 4 years later that personally it's I don't see it getting, it didn't get better. 4 years later, everybody was Black Lives Matter in 2020. Every store, every place, we know that wasn't going to last. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still having this, now people feel they have more, they have a freedom now to say it. They're not afraid. Before they were hiding things, they kept it to themselves. Now, they say it to you right in your face, and I'm not going to stop writing things like that.
Yes.
Okay, that's one way. That's one way to keep the change. If you give up because you're afraid, you give up because you realize things are not changing, then that doesn't work for me. I have to keep doing it. Right. I have to keep writing like this. I have to keep talking to people. I have to. I don't do a lot of politics on social media and all this stuff. Right. I really don't. But I'm gonna keep doing the work myself. I can't, and I will hope that you keep doing what you're doing, and because that's one way we send the message out, having people, talking about this kind of things, and like I said, I don't go on the street for no justice, no peace. I put it on stage. This is a stage, okay? Right. So and then and by you giving me the platform to do that, yes, we have to keep doing that for things to change, because you cannot be afraid to educate people. I don't want to use I cannot be afraid to fight. That sound I don't know if that sounds negative, but I'm not going to be afraid to keep educating people. So, and that's very important. I think that's the only way to keep, for the change. Just keep doing what you've been doing and more. Right. Okay, just have conversation with people instead of fighting with people. I don't know how many times that I look on social media, I see somebody who loved me so much, and then they putting so many ignorant things on social media, and I'm like, sometimes I said, I need to delete this person, but I said no, because we're going to have difference. That's right. You're going to have different opinion regardless, no matter what, but you cannot hate people for, just let's speak their mind, whatever it is, because things will never change, if you push them away.
Well, I have one more left field question. We know, Remy, you are an activist, trademark patented. An activist. You work with young people, which has its level of skill set. You work with adults that has another skill set. You write, you act,
A direct, I produce.
When you need to unwind and become absolutely, totally, singularly Remy, what is it that you do, or if you can share it, that you can enjoy? Because I'm going to just throw this out there. He has fed his cast, and that is one of the reasons why I work with Remy for the food. He's quite a chef. But outside of that's just my opinion, just let people know. But what is it that you do to what's the word? To de-stress, decompress, de-stress, unwind.
I invite good friends. Sometimes people say they need to be time, and my time alone can be me just by myself. Right. It can be with good friends. Right. Okay, if I'm home in my yard, I cook and I'm enjoying some time, and then when I'm not directing, producing, acting, okay, and just come home in my yard and just have fun and eat and joke. No talking about theater, and that's one good thing for me. People might think because of what I do, because of what I do, what do you call this term when they say people don't like to socialize? There's some people just like to be home.
Introvert.
Extrovert. Yes. So I am both. As much as I love what I do, I love people. Most people don't believe when I told them, no, I am an introvert. I like to be home. I like to be home. Where most actors want to go to the bar after a show, I just want to get home. I just want to get home. Sometimes I say, come home with me. I'll cook for you. I don't want to. yeah, so I like to be home and 4 minutes. Now that if that I think that's how I unwind.
Yeah.
Just be home with friends or by myself. I love listening to music.
Yes.
Okay, I love listening to music, and then sometimes I turn it loud and just be home. It's all considered part of myself because it's relaxing. It's relaxing. I don't have to think about work. It's everything's,
Right.
yeah. So
Well, whatever we can do to replenish the genius that is Jean Remy MONNAY, who is the artistic director and founder of the Black Theater Troupe of Albany. You have graced our stage here at Various Fields, being the very first various dialogue.
Thank you
guest. And
for.
thank you so much.
I'm glad I'm your first guy. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very much.
No, thank you.
Guys, you don't have anything more?
I think we're all.
All right. Well, if that is it, we thank you all for being here at Various Fields. My name is Hazel Fields II.
I'm Hayes Fields III.
I'm Lex.
And
I am Jean Remy Monet. Everybody call me Remy.
I love all you brothers.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Nels,
much
for all
for your
your
time.
help. And we'll see you
See you on
next
the next
time.
one.
Thank you so much, guys.